Oi, what's the best game where you get to eat pie? What's the best game where you play a dead guy? You'll find out in VG247's podcast. Here, what's the best game where you swing from a rope? And what's the best game where you batter the Pope? Assassin's Creed 2. Like I said, you will find out in this here podcast. Hello and welcome to VG247's Best Games Ever podcast, where we attempt to find the best game within a category that we've made up to cause arguments. For example, this week we're looking for the best game that you think you could complete as your real life self. Video games allow us to live out absurd power fantasies where we can level up our limbs and have intrinsic knowledge of how to fly helicopters and handle firearms with the skill of a special forces soldier. But what would any of us actually be like if we had to do these things as our real selves? If we had to defeat Bowser or kill a dragon or struggle with the ethical dilemma of choosing which of your subordinates have to stay behind on a planet to die to allow the rest of us to escape, when one of them is a space racist and the other one's a fucking wiener. All right, so I'm joined by Tom Orry, Alex Donaldson and James Bilcliffe. And,
was that a dig? Was that a dig?
What?
You said you had a kind of deliberate link from Wiener to my name.
No, I didn't. I was talking about Caden Alenko, and then there was a break, then I was talking, and then I introduced you. It was nothing to do with you, Tom. I promise. Mm-hmm. I was. I'm not comparing you to Caden Alenko. Right, best game that you think you could complete as yourself, your actual self. And because Bilcliffe messaged me in private earlier to clarify this point, I want to make clear that you cannot level up yourself. You are your vanilla self throughout the entire experience, right? So there's no loopholes like, I'm going to be myself in Fallout New Vegas and put all my points into guns or whatever, because you're just you. You're just you. You have to figure out how to make a rifle out of pipes.
No infusing yourself with souls to make you extremely dexterous.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just you. All right. So first of all, I want to hear from Alex. What have you got for us today?
Well, I apologise to the audience in advance for the state of my voice this time.
Yeah, I thought we'd get you out of the way quickly.
Already. They've just literally
cautionary tale, don't go to an Eastern European country and drink loads and loads of alcohol.
Just don't have any fun whatsoever.
Yeah, so nothing that involved drinking could go on my list. But I thought, I don't know, it feels like a little bit of an obvious choice, I guess, but I really do firmly believe it, and there's reasons that I will get into. But I've picked Stardew Valley. I'm green-fingered. I like a bit of gardening. I literally 2 minutes before this podcast, I popped out to grab some water, and I was looking through the kitchen window at my beds, and I noticed that the potatoes are starting to sprout up now. The weather's warming up a little bit.
You keep your potatoes in a bed?
That's nice. Well, I've got like a raised wood. It's got like a wood. I don't know.
Bad joke.
In the garden,
such a bad joke.
The thing is, they need there's no quilt cover or anything like that, Jim. It's just
soil.
Nature. But yeah, so I'm green fingered, so I reckon I could do quite well on the farm thing. And actually, the first thought I had was like, well, Animal Crossing, obviously, because I don't want to, I'm a coward. I don't want anything where I'm going to be shot at or killed, which is most video games, or have my head chopped off or my arm chopped off or anything like that. As much as I would love to live in Mass Effect or the hellscape of Deus Ex. Although based on what James said, you couldn't have Deus Ex because you can't give yourself prosthetic limbs and stuff, right? You can't give yourself the power-ups.
You could get shot really fast by a turret and then you'd be dead and that'd be it.
Well, yeah. So the first thought was Animal Crossing, but then I was like, Animal Crossing, you have the same hell that you have in real life. You get a house and then some wanker at the bank says you now owe me 400,000 bells. Yeah. And probably hikes the rates when your country does a load of stupid, really, really stupid stuff.
Yeah.
No prices for guessing I'm renewing my mortgage.
And in the latest Animal Crossing, you are basically an island nation
at the whims of a harsh international market. So
yeah, so then I thought about it a bit more, and I was like, well, what would I want? And what I would want is to have, the extreme Tory privilege of an old relative dying and just leaving you £1 million farm in their will. And so I was like, you know what? I would quite like that. I would quite like to just be left a huge estate in the will of some family member that I hadn't thought about for ages. And then I would just grow my potatoes and my crops and whatever else, and break rocks, and and there is a little bit of danger in that game. I could go spelunking down in the mines. No tight spaces. I don't like tight spaces, so I ain't doing that. I ain't crawling through a gap.
I was going to say, do you think you'd be up for the mines?
I think I'll be up for the mines because I'm not worried about the dark or anything like that. I just remember once when we were young, we went on a school trip into some caves somewhere because, of course, that's what you do in Britain. We've got nothing else cultural, just caves, and there was a challenge where you had to crawl through an extremely small gap where, like, even at the age of like 14, once I got into it, I couldn't physically, you couldn't turn around. And it was so small, the teachers couldn't get through it. And I remember that as one of the most horrible experiences of my life. So as long as I don't have to do that, I can do the mines. You only fight slimes and stuff down there anyway.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do you not have to fight slimes? Do you have it in you to look that little slime boy in the eye? Do you have to run the knife across it?
Oh, I'd run them through, no question. There's no mercy there. They're only slimes, especially if they're standing between me and more money. So yeah, I just thought, I don't want to pay a mortgage, so I was like, Stardew Valley, that's the one.
I think this is a very good pitch, Alex, because you have identified possibly sorry, we've all got bad throats today. You have identified possibly the one video game scenario in which most of us would probably do all right in, which is, as you say, elderly relative gives us an estate and £1 million. We don't have to save the galaxy or anything. We're just to plant some stuff. I'm pretty sure in Stardew Valley, you don't necessarily have to be good at the gardening bit, do you? Because it works. It's so much easier than actually growing stuff in real life. You can get a crop going quite easily. The mechanics of the video game are still going to work exactly as they are. It's just that you are you in it. So you're basically the best, most lucky farmer on the planet if you find yourself in Stardew Valley.
Well, the thing I'd say is it's a lot of this is going to sound such a wanker thing to say, but a lot of stuff is easier to grow than you think, to be fair, even in real life.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff you can just fire and forget and just leave it.
Yeah. That is the opposite of the message espoused by Clarkson's Farm, which is my only.
Yeah, well, he's doing it at large scale, to be fair, I suppose, and then complaining a lot. But yeah.
He said not bad anyway. Okay, well, that's lovely. Can we now hear from? I'm going to save Tom till last because it's
what. I
feel like I know what Tom's is, and if he hasn't picked what I'm thinking it is, I will be disappointed in him.
Can you? If it isn't, sorry, carry on. What are you saying, Tom?
I was going to say, before we go on to James, who you're obviously going to introduce next, I was just thinking about what Connor would have picked for this category, and I'm kind of glad he's not on.
Just something disgusting and gross.
Something that would once again have us put on a fucking register.
We're back on Galgun again.
Sorry, Connor, I'm sure you'd have picked something nice.
Connor as his actual real self playing Dead or Alive volleyball. Just standing there with a milkshake. All right, okay. James Billcliffe, what have you got for us?
I think I could have a really good go at Disco Elysium.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Because, so my mind immediately went to a kind of game that you genuinely just pretty much already complete as your real life self. And that took me straight to, on the one hand, yes, farming games, but I was thinking about Animal Crossing as well. But you think about, you have to, like you said in the new Animal Crossing, you have to dredge through the sea and swim around in a wetsuit and try and grab slippery sea creatures. That's really hard. I genuinely don't think I could actually do that myself. So I went for something slightly less physical and went down the detective game angle. And which better detective game to choose than the best detective game, Disco Elysium, which is a massively well-revered kind of story in its unique sort of approach to really nerdy, kind of over-the-top intellectual storyline, where it kind of throws all of these very haut-sounding concepts at you all of the time with sort of different political ideologies and all of that sort of stuff, to create something that, like I say, is a really unique and interesting story in that detective genre. But the overriding theme, particularly of Disco Elysium, is complete abject despair and failure. And just like in Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing, what is more representative of real life than grappling through just pain, just anguish?
It's all the experience of living in the north of England.
The universe.
Just living in the north, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, exactly. It's it's cold, it's wet, it's dreary. You've got no trousers, you're hungover.
Yeah.
And you just try to find out who you are. And there are so many different ways that you can do that. Just as everything is. And it's a fantastic game. And if you haven't played it, it needs to kind of be seen to be believed, because you can kind of go into the nuts and bolts of it and say, you're a police chief who's hungover and lost his memory, and you're trying to solve the murder of a mercenary that's been lynched in this sort of revolutionary, post-revolutionary union town that's having these kind of labor disputes, this brushing between corporations and workers' rights and all this sort of stuff. But I think that to take that overarching stance on it kind of belies the internal kind of politics and monologue of the character, and how it's a really interesting interrogation of how you perceive yourself and how you conduct yourself in different situations. And it is an incredibly stark like introspection of how you engage with people just on a daily basis. And I think that is a really accessible thing, with how, if you're a pretty neurotic person, like a lot of us are, it's how you interact with everybody anyway. And I think that especially with the help of the absolute Dom, Kim Katsuragi, who's your partner and your sidekick throughout the adventure, I think I could have a go at solving the murder. I could do it. I back myself.
Do you reckon you could do the actual deduction stuff as well as the having a neurotic inner monologue and risking death every time you have a headache?
Well, listen, I've seen Glass Onion. I have some sunglasses like Daniel Craig does. Mm-hmm. I don't have a mustache like Poirot, but I could give it a go.
Yeah,
I think.
I mean, you've got something akin to a mustache on the go now. I mean,
yeah, that's just, and this is just from kind of 3 days of hard living. So
this is just from look. If I let myself go and I'm halfway to Poirot, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, if not Suchet, if not Branagh, but definitely Suchet, I guess. But
yeah.
I think that I could have a go at the detective stuff, because another game that crossed my mind was Phoenix Wright, and if somebody else picks Phoenix Wright, I would have gone right in on them, because you do not know the law stuff. You're not a lawyer. You do. It'd be like when that episode of Simpsons where Homer tries to defend himself or whatever, and the judge is like, "You rest your case." Like, what are you on about?
How do you know I'm not a lawyer?
Well,
I mean,
your general demeanor for one.
Do you know that?
Look, let's just discounting the fact that there are many facets and episodes to the life of Tom Murray that we are probably yet to be made aware of. I can believe that you were in law school at one point, but all right, okay. So, James, I really like this, and I do think you would make a good detective, because I think most people with journalistic instincts would. I mean, doing any kind of journalism is a form of detective work, isn't it? I don't mean the, how do you get 9 rat tails in Wolong or whatever stuff, but the other stuff.
No, that's true. And just to kind of finish it off, there is a kind of cryptozoological angle on it, like cryptids, kind of are adjacent to Disco Elysium, and I have actually seen the Enceladium plasmid.
You what?
I have actually seen it.
You've seen it? You've seen what?
I've seen the Enceladium plasmid.
I feel like I'm having a stroke.
What have you seen?
Oh, is this another 10 episodes of Bill Cliff ruining the podcast again? Explain this immediately.
No, it's a spoiler. I can't. It's a meme for people who've seen it.
Unbelievable. Am I just outing myself as someone who hasn't completed Disco Elysium?
Has nobody else actually played this game?
I got like the first room and I was like, oh, it's a bit much.
I mean, I think I got to the point where it was like my third. It was the third instance of my character having some kind of environmentally triggered existential crisis to the point where they died, that I thought, this is like, I mean, I'm very sorry for invoking it, but this is like the Dark Souls of having a brain. So I can't. But yeah, I should play it at some point. I've got 2 copies of it. Got on PC and PS5, haven't I?
Yeah, and that's yet another angle, because this is the topic: best game that you think you could complete as your real life self.
Yeah,
game over is completion in that game. You get you get a game over. So, and I think you can speedrun it in like 30 seconds. By just dying immediately.
I mean, I could definitely die. I can see like that's, I mean, we're all good at that at some point, right? Okay. God, that's bleak. Tom, speaking of bleak, what have you got for us?
Right. I've got something I need to say first, because I've got something's been weighing me down all week. So, and prepare yourselves, right? Last week, I told a very harrowing tale about my dog. Yeah, do you remember the story?
Oh, God.
Do you remember the story about the dog? And it ran
the dog that got off the lead and didn't get run over.
Got off.
That's right. Yeah, as I recall, it was a dog
quickly rescued
that lived to a ripe old age or something.
It was a tale that was like just full of like heartache and sorrow and stuff. But I wanted to come clean. Like, that didn't happen. All right. So,
how many of your other glorious stories have been lies, Tom?
This is the only one. But
the one where he was hustling pool at 8 years old.
That's true.
I believe that, to be honest. I believe that one.
I also believe that. Yeah.
But I have chased a dog that had escaped onto a road. Not my dog, but someone else's dog. And I have also walked into town to buy a game. But at no point have they combined to be a dog running into the road while buying Morrowind.
See, so, I thought something was up, because I asked you follow-up questions about the dog, and you were like, "Oh, I don't know, it was my uncle's," and it left.
It is the dog. It is my uncle's dog. And it did leave because.
The dog is something...
true. Pecker the dog, the poodle. Pecker the poodle. That's his name, Pecker. Yeah, he's a poodle.
Well, the dog didn't have a name last time, I don't think.
Well, it is. It's a real dog. But anyway, I just wanted to get it out there because I felt bad about it. There we go. I've cleared it up, so it wasn't
the dog
real.
Was never in danger.
Not at that point. I mean,
we established that in the episode that the dog was never in any danger. So effectively, you haven't really lied. You've just compressed the timeline like a sort of biographer would. It's fine. I think you can get away with that.
All right.
What is your pick for this topic?
So I was thinking about this about 2 minutes. I thought, right, go for something that I'm good at, sort of, in real life. And I thought, right, snooker, I'll do Jimmy White's Whirlwind Snooker.
I just want to say, I almost picked that bowling game that we did the video about for the same reason.
I thought that, but I thought actually I wasn't actually that great at snooker. So I wasn't even that good at the game. So wouldn't have been a great choice. And then, like Alex was saying, I don't really see myself surviving in most games. In like the real life scenario, I'm not what people would call physical, I guess. So I went with Football Manager.
I knew it. I knew it.
I mean, if there's anything that I could just have a go at and probably do all right, it's football management, right? It can't be that hard. I mean,
It really can't.
Yeah.
it really can't. It really can't. Like, I know managers get paid an absolute fortune, and the top level managers, but I mean, come on. Like, you've got a team of people worth like 600 million. Just go and kick a ball around. It's not hard. Like, honestly, that's it, really.
Yeah, walking into a room full of like 30 odd top professionals and immediately commanding their respect is like a really easy task, isn't it?
They'd seen my Twitter account. They probably know I command respect. So, I mean, they can look at my CV if they want. But I think there was that guy who has become a professional manager off the back of starting in Football Manager. It's a thing that has happened. Yeah. I played Football Manager Live, which was the online sort of MMO version of Football Manager, which was incredible, by the way. It got canned because not enough people played it, but it was amazing. You had actual communities of people that had real... There was no actual real players in this. It was all... just fake names, but you built up real squads of people that you became attached to because they weren't just, I've just signed Mbappe or whatever. It's actually like Jason Scott, the 16-year-old wonder kid or whatever. In my server, it was someone called Lamar. He was incredible. My brother had him, which was very annoying to me that he was in the same server as me. And he had this
going to
player.
make a joke then about how the only people on this server were you and your brother.
He was on it, yeah. But people used to talk in the chat about Lamar like he's some legendary like player in the real life, and it was just James's annoying, lucky youth player that came through. But
Wonder Kid.
Essentially, yeah, Wonder Kid, exactly. But I mean, I've got management experience, years of it, right? 20 years or so.
Yeah.
I've played Football Manager. I've played football at cub level, not scout, cubs.
Not club,
Cub level.
Cub level
We
football.
got to the semi-final of the Cubs South of England football tournament. I missed the penalty in the semi-final, got us knocked out. But I was the left back, so I shouldn't have been taking that penalty. The midfielders that should have been, they were crying. They didn't want to take it. I stepped up, missed. That's on them, not me, really.
A striking resemblance there to the story of one Gareth Southgate.
Yeah. This is real. I haven't made this up like last week. But that's it. I think I've got the pedigree.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to say, if this was America, I'm sure playing cub level football would be, you'd be earning 80 grand a year easily. If this was a real country. You know what? I think there is an argument there that you have picked something that is entirely to your strengths.
I could imagine those manager pre-canned responses coming out of Tom's mouth. To be fair, show me what you've got today. I want to see a good display, etc., etc.
Yeah.
I can hear it.
Yeah, like what sort of level of club do you think you would be managing? You think sort of
realistically, it wouldn't be Premier League,
Worthing or something,
but like Crawley or something like that, they're okay.
Yeah.
They're in like a sort of league. Have you seen the video? I can imagine myself a bit like, have you seen the classic? You probably haven't because you don't like football, Jim. But Mourinho talking to Dele Alli, right? And he's talking to him in the documentary about his future. And like, if you just don't get on with it, take it seriously, you're going to be done essentially. And he's done. He didn't listen to him. He's done. His career's over basically. That I could be giving that kind of wisdom in that kind of tone, I feel. So basically Mourinho level is what I'm saying. I take back the thing about not Premier League, just Real Madrid.
Well, there is that Chelsea story of when Avram Grant was managing them, and Frank Lampard went and asked him, like, I think it was the Champions League semi-final or final, and he said, when they're running at us with the ball, do you want us to go to them or stand back? And because Avram Grant was like renowned as a bit of a puppet of the Abramovich regime or whatever, he apparently just said that I will leave up to you. It's like, so that's the level so that's the top echelons of the Champions League. That's the quality that you got to achieve.
Yeah. Easy.
Well, yeah. All right. Okay. Well, I need to go and pick something now, so we're going to have a little advert break.
Do we have adverts now?
Yeah, we've got adverts now.
There may not be one. Like, only some people get served them. So if there wasn't an ad,
if there wasn't an ad, you just got a nice jingle that Tom hates. All right, okay. So let's go through them one by one, and obviously the last one I get to is the one that is where I've already decided who the winner is, because I was very enamored by it.
Can we make some arguments first?
Isn't it?
Let's make some arguments. Like, first off, right, Alex, he's not surviving.
Well, you just spent fucking 25 minutes making your arguments.
He's not surviving the mines, right? He's not.
Yeah, it's not. Spelunking is extremely dangerous.
He's already said
I've seen worse than what's in those mines this last weekend. I could survive the mines.
All right. I don't believe that. And also, like, Disco Elysium isn't as good as Sam Max, right? So
yeah. I think Bill Cliff would be a good detective. I'm just not entirely convinced that he would survive necessarily the Disco Elysium world.
On average, 15 people face injuries each year inside caves of the United States. That's just the United States.
15,
Caving deaths.
15
The truth about how many cavers die each year. The truth. It's hidden.
I mean, this
cave.
We have to get into the philosophical of whether you as yourself in a game world are subject to the rules of the game world, or if you are only subject to the rules that you brought with you from your own universe. I'm going to go ahead and decide right now, because it helps my argument, that if you, a neurotic person, a writer, a creative, full of wee doubts like an ashtray, would end up in the Disco Elysium world, you'd probably end up dying very quickly by hyper focusing on a car door or something, and I think that would be the end of you. I don't think you'd get very far in that world at all. I don't even think you would get to. You would like it. It wouldn't be so like you wouldn't get to the done it part of the who done it. You would be sort of like entirely unaware that a crime had been committed by the time it had taken you out the situation.
Caves can be dangerous places. Hypothermia, flooding, and falling rocks, and physical exhaustion are just some of the risks.
Alex, I can't see you spelunking. I'm sorry. I've spent a lot of time with Alex. I've been all over the world with Alex, actually, and I cannot picture you doing well in a cave.
We're gonna do a sponsor video where we go to a cave now. We're gonna go to Wookiee Hole.
You're gonna go to Wookiee Hole and one of us will die.
Just gonna make notes of that for my next meeting.
As much as I appreciate that, I think you would be good at the growing stuff part of Stardew Valley. I don't disagree with you there, but I think there's a lot of the rest of it that you would probably struggle at. Tom, I can fully accept, and I have to take you down a peg slightly. I can fully accept that you would competently manage a sort of mid to low tier club for at least 2 years before they got rid of you, which I think is probably considered a successful run.
However, like just to jump in once again and derail your thought process once again, we're talking about completion here. Can you ever complete football? To quote Jack D, football's just going to go on forever, and I'm going to die. So, and that's apparently why he doesn't like football anymore. So, about the topic.
Do you think Tom could manage a club until they get tired of him and sack him?
Yes. But is that completion? Therefore, if I die in Disco Elysium, completion?
That is the only game over. The only career path for a football manager is to make them so tired of you that they get rid of you. So, in that sense, I think Tom would be able to complete being a football manager pretty easily, actually. But I think he'd make a good go of it. So, I'm just going to say it now that Football Manager is the best game that you think you could complete as your real life self. Well done, Tom. Well done.
Thanks. Quite pleased with that result.
I'm surprised he didn't say that's exactly the reaction I was looking for.
Can't fault their effort. They're a great bunch of lads.
Okay, right. So thanks very much for listening. Please give us a 5-star review on your podcast platform of choice. Because if you do give us a 5-star review, it really annoys Eurogamer, I've been told. So if you want to stick... If you want to stick it to Eurogamer, give us a good review on the podcast. Thank you very much. Bye. Bye. All right. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Well, no, but yeah.
Everyone happy? Nobody's happy.
Like I said, you will find out in this here podcast.
If you enjoyed the show, please give us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. It really helps us get the word out. We're not just a podcast, of course. If you'd like to hear more from the team, then check out VG247.com for our fantastic news coverage, features, reviews, and game guides. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.
Transport links are pretty great here in Scotland. Your cars and aeroplanes, therefore, knobs man, you want to cross the Firth of Tay. There's only one way, ScotRail. Every minute someone's taking ScotRail. Not curtain rails or humpback wheels, no ScotRail. Up, Glasgow Central, and Bekeithing, Bathgate, Methil.